Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digimon video. So today we got some new news about new Japanese product that's coming out for the Digimon TCG, and it's definitely looking to be really interesting. So the first bit of news that we have to talk about is we are getting two new starter decks. So the two new starter decks are going to be themed-based starter decks, so we're moving away from like generic color-based starter decks and moving into more themes, and the themes of the two new starter decks is going to be on Gallantmon and All-Force Vidramon. So I don't know if these decks will contain any reprints or anything, but they do have a new rarity, so that's kind of interesting to see that they have a new rarity added to these starter decks. Starter decks are going to be, for the most part, kind of the same in terms of quantity of cards and what you're going to be getting in them. It's just these are going to be themed around, again, Gallantmon and All-Force Vidramon. So that's just a one really interesting thing to note. But on top of the fact that we have new starter decks to think about, we also have a new booster, which shouldn't really be surprising to anyone, that BT06 is going to be on the horizon for Japan. So BT06 is going to be releasing in late May in Japan, and we have the total breakdown that we usually get really early on. We don't exactly know what the title is going to allude to in terms of Double Diamond. So there's already some interesting things that can come from just the name of the set. But for the most part, this set looks like it's going to be doing some very similar things to what BT04 was doing. It's just that there is one less super rare, and that's kind of it. So it looks like they're kind of settling down on what they want set ratios to be, and this is kind of looking like the norm. So if we hop on to the Twitter links where the information was dropped, we could see that they had posted about the All-Force Vidramon deck, and they gave the details here. We also can see that in a separate tweet, they mentioned the Gallantmon starter deck, and they have all of the information here as well. And then again, in another tweet, they had tweeted about BT06 Double Diamond with the card breakdown here as well. But I know what all of you are thinking in the fact that, oh, we have BT06 announced for Japan when English doesn't even have Special Booster 1.0. And yes, while it does seem like they are moving fast, BT05 is coming out in February for Japan. So this set being released in May is 3 months later. So it's not really that surprising. The TCG is moving at a consistent, steady pace, like a whole bunch of other TCGs. It's just between all of the English news and the Japanese news overlapping one another, it does feel like it is moving relatively fast, when in actuality it's not. There's just more news coming out and more things to talk about. So that's why it kind of just feels like everything is moving hyper fast, but in reality it really isn't. But the fact that this is really interesting because it gives the English market a lot more to think about in terms of like what cards are going to be lasting longer, what cards are going to be getting support, and all that jazz. It definitely really makes the English market a lot more different than how the Japanese market is going to behave, because we already will know metas ahead of time, what's going to be good. We'll know a couple of sets in the future, what's going to be getting some extra support. So there's just a whole lot more to think about when it comes to the English market, and that's definitely a really exciting thing to think about. But like I said, the game is moving at a steady pace for Japan and the Japanese side of things, and it's not really moving any faster than your normal TCG. So people might not know exactly how TCGs are made, but usually the company making the TCG has to work at least months, if not a year in advance in terms of releasing product and release schedule, just because of just how TCGs are made, between printing, between packaging, between distribution. There's just so many things that are going on, and everything does take time. So usually this type of information gets revealed relatively early and relatively quickly, just because stores need to start planning on prepping to buy it, so that way the company who's making it knows exactly how much to make, and so on and so forth. So there's just a lot that go into making a TCG. So getting early news like this isn't necessarily uncommon either. But definitely really interesting to put into perspective that BT06 is on the horizon and we have some new starter decks. So that's always really fun to think about, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they have in store. So that's kind of all I really have for this video. As always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.